All right, welcome back. We're now talking athletics, and let's tell you that the crisis in athletics is still there, but efforts are being made to resolve them. Like we told you, the NOC have come up with its own recommendation. The NOC committee was headed by Mr. Francis Obi, the president of Badminton Federation of Nigeria. They said that Dele should step aside because he is only a technical director by appointment, which means that appointment can be taken away from him anytime. But they did not agree with Gusau's camp, who said they were going autonomous, because as far as Obi is concerned, there is no autonomy. You still need to work with the sports ministry. So at the end of the day, I don't know if Gusau's camp will accept all those recommendations, or if they will still continue to be at loggerheads with the other faction led by Olamide George. All these are issues that are still bogging down AFN. Well, somebody that knows, talk about somebody who has been neck deep in athletics, a veteran journalist, one of our colleagues, talk about Dare Eson. He shared his thoughts with us exclusively on Sportsville. Let's hear from Dare Eson, then we'll come back to the studio. Hello, Dare.
In the first place, there's no issue to resolve, because all member federations of IAF, they only look up to the IAAF for solutions to whatever problems they have. That is, if their respective congresses cannot solve it. So it is only the board of AFN that can set it up. Maybe you can have the congress, that is if there's a congress that has been called to that effect. But in the absence of the congress, there is only the board that can set up any committee whatsoever to look into anything that has to do with the administration of the sport. Not even the IAAF. So, as far as the AFL people are concerned, the NOC are just undertaking a fruitless journey, because the report, although it favors the acting president, but we won't say because of that will allow illegality to thrive. The NOC has no power whatsoever over the federation. Whatsoever. They don't have the power. It's only in Nigeria that people assume powers that don't belong to them. But luckily, there are knowledgeable people in the AFN now who can tell them to their face, sorry, you don't have the power. You only have the power to control Olympic events, and that is in form of registration. Anything outside that, forget it. Who organizes the athletics event for even the Olympics? It's IAAF. Have you had a situation where the IOC has whether it's an international affair for the World Athletics? It has never happened. So in Nigeria, people just assume unnecessary power. And now they are telling them, sorry, although this judgment you have given is in our favor, then we still don't recognize you. Because the judgment only approves what has been done by the AFN board that says, okay, you are in the right condition. That Gusau is suspended because they said Gusau should go and appear before the panel set up by the AFN. They recognize the fact that the AFN has the power to set up the panel. They now good by saying the panel should be expanded. Who are they to talk about expansion? It is the AFN, even if we are going to expand any panel, it is the AFN that will set up the panel. So that's where they should know that the power does not belong to them. So they just exercise a fruitless journey. They just embark on a fruitless journey, and they are disembarking with nothing. Olympic preparation started so many years ago. I would say immediately after the Olympics. It's not when you call people to camp alone that you talk about Olympic preparation. All the championships we are setting before the Olympics, they are all part of the preparation. We all know, going by what happened last year, that we have medal contenders in Ezebrume. We have medal contenders in Toby Amuson. We have a big chance of making the podium in the men's 4x100 meters. We have 3 athletes who broke 10 seconds. We have another one who has a 10:02. So it has not affected anything. Then concerning who is recognized by World Athletics or not, you know, all those are policies. In the fullness of time, you will see who will be recognized. It's as simple as that.
All right, thank you, Dare, for sharing your thought with us on Sportsville. Gentlemen, you heard Dare there, Matthew. Dare is saying that NOC in the first place has no business interfering with the internal matter of AFN.
I think we are just making a laughing stock of ourselves, because if you look at what both factions have succeeded in doing, they've succeeded in rubbishing everything the NOC had done. Because if you look at the statement of Olamide George and also that from the camp of Gusau, it shows that they said they want to be seen as an autonomous body, that if they really had issues, they can come together and be able to at least speak in one voice and resolve whatever differences
But they are not
they
speaking
had.
on one voice.
Yes, they are not speaking on one voice. On the part of Gusau, I think what the infantry is still carries, as at this point in time, is on the premise that the World Athletics still recognizes him as the substantive president of the AFN.
Exactly.
We must note that. In my own opinion, I think for us to have a lasting solution to this, I think the sport ministry should once again, in its wisdom, call these guys together. And recognize Gusau as the president of the AFN. I'm just speaking as a journalist. I think if once Gusau is recognized as the president of the AFN, Adeleye can't be asked to step aside because his position was on appointment in the first place. I think if we are able to do this, sanity will naturally return to the Athletics Federation. Yes, Olamide George might have tasted power, and we Africans, once we get to this position, we find it very difficult to relinquish it. But I think the best way.
But national interest should come first, Matthew. Tony Dare was saying here in that interview he had with us that it won't affect Nigeria's performance at the Olympics, that the athletes are preparing, and what happened in basketball may just play out. All the crisis in basketball has not affected Nigeria's performance at the international level. Do you agree with that? We're going into the Olympics.
Yeah, just to a very large extent, I think Dare is absolutely correct in that one. I think that is even the cherry news about the Hulubalu, about athletics. But then I think there is also concern for us because athletics, we know, is the engine room of Team Nigeria in major competitions like the Olympics. As in, like they say in my place, what affects the eyes affects the nose. So there is absolutely no how, some sad news will be, moving out from Nigeria, that it will be good news even outside Nigeria. I think that's why we are concerned. I'm absolutely impressed with what the Nigeria Olympic Committee have done.
But Dare too said they don't have any business interfering.
That's Dare's opinion. That's Dare's opinion that they do not have powers to interfere. But I must tell you that Nigeria Olympic Committee have powers. Nigeria Olympic Committee is the ones that will, register, Team Nigeria for the Olympics. Nigeria Olympic Committee are the ones who are in charge of Team Nigeria. Once they take over Team Nigeria from the ministry, then it becomes the property of the Nigeria Olympic Committee.
So who would NOC be forwarding its name to as president of the AFN?
That's exactly
when the chiefs are there.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That for Dare to say that the Nigeria Olympic Committee do not have any stand, I do not agree with him on that. I think the Nigeria Olympic Committee have done well and have done what it's supposed to do. And of course, the committee chairman, Obe, a very intelligent man, has equally done well. I think the bottom line of all these things is this about indictment on Ibrahim Gusau, a man that represented Nigeria. He was a lawmaker, and I think Francis Obi here says there was nothing as indictment. And I think if we truly and really want to resolve this, if we remove that about indictment and all those things, I think the whole thing will come so clear. But as it is now, the Nigeria Olympic Committee have done well, and if these people truly want to embrace peace, it's just for them now to sit and then look at what can we do. Nigeria Olympic Committee, the organ representing Nigeria, this is what they have done. Okay, let's just come to a round table.
So the ministry need to bring these two councils.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why I even love the Minister of Sports. He gives you chance, he listens, and of course he wants to get the facts. The man is not in a hurry to dabble into any political talk. He wants to get the whole people. He doesn't want to get into trouble with anybody. But then the fact that the House of Athletics is divided in Nigeria is enough trouble for Nigeria. Because just like Matthew said, the World Athletics, they are all listening. Who is the World Athletics going to recognize? Who is the Nigeria Olympic Committee going to recognize in presenting Nigeria to the world?
Wow, so the ministry, the ball is now in your court. The NOC has made its recommendation, but at the end of the day, I think our position here in Sportsville is that both camps need to be brought together so that we'll be on the same page ahead of the Olympics. Let's take another break now. When we come back, we'll be coasting home, and I hope you're enjoying Sportsville.